Hey guys, so this is kind of an impromptu video today. I have actually been wanting to do a tutorial or how-to video, I guess, on how to conceal a really big, annoying blemish for a while now. I'm just waiting for the opportune moment, and lucky me, yesterday I woke up with this little gem, which you can't really see right now because I've already concealed it. I'm going to show you how I do that in this video. And I really wanted to wait for a doozy. You know, it's really easy to conceal, well, easier to conceal flat areas of discoloration or red spots that are, you know, flat against your skin. It's a whole other story when you're talking about a very large blemish that is raised up and it's casting a shadow. That makes it so much easier. When we're talking about, it makes it so much harder to conceal it. And adding to that is the fact that if you just keep topping it with concealer and keep trying to add more on, it actually makes it, draws more attention to it, I think, and it makes it even more prominent because it's raised up and then it has all this product on it too, and it's just, ugh. I'm going to show you what I do. This is a concealer trick that is a pretty well-known trick. I'm just going to show you how I do it personally. So I'm not going to zoom in too far on this area, just because I don't think you guys want that. I definitely don't want that, and it's kind of gross. So I'm going to try to give you as best a view I can without like HD zoom lens on the actual volcanic eruption. You're welcome. So let's get started and keep watching if you want to see how I do it. What you want to do is actually pick up a really good heavy-duty concealer. The best kind are the ones that you can apply a very thin layer and it really packs a punch. I love my Kat Von D Tattoo Concealer in Sand. I love this. This stuff is amazing, honestly. And since we're doing more of a precise application for this, you want to go ahead and reach for a brush, a makeup brush. You can either use a traditional concealer brush. This is an F70 from Sigma. Actually, a pointy eyeliner brush works very, very well. It works the same as a concealer brush, but it's a lot smaller, so it's a lot more precise. This is an E5 from Sigma. So what I'm actually going to do is put a little bit of this concealer on the back of my hand because you don't want to like apply it directly to your blemish. So I'm going to get a tiny bit of concealer on my brush, and what I'm going to do for this first part is actually not super precise. You just want to apply a little bit, like a sheer layer of concealer on that blemish, and then, you know, tap it out with your finger. So what you have here is just kind of an all over, very sheer layer of concealer. I think that's what most people do to conceal their blemishes, and you can see that although the top of it seems color corrected, you can still see it because that shadow is still being cast underneath. So what I'm going to do to fix that is a little optical illusion. I'm gonna play tricks, mind tricks. Get a little bit more concealer on the end of your brush, whatever brush you're using, and you want to imagine drawing a horizontal line straight through the center of your blemish, and you want to place your brush on that line, that imaginary line, and then pull down and blend it down into the rest of your face. So like right there, and then press down. So we're not concealing the top anymore. We're trying to add more concealer so that the bottom is lighter than the top. You can even actually, sometimes I'll literally just draw a straight line and then blend it down. Just like that. Then what you want to do is let it sit for a second. Depending on what concealer you're using, you might want to let it sit for 30 seconds. This one, this Kat Von D, is it really sets up very quickly, so I only let it sit for, you know, like 15 seconds. If you go in right away and start tapping it, you're just going to lift everything off. So you want it to start to dry a little bit, and then what you can do is just take your finger, and you don't want to tap right on top of the blemish. You want to kind of tap around it just to blend out that line of demarcation that's there, because if you just tap right on it, you're just going to lift it off. And again, if you're using a very lightweight concealer, you can definitely get away with applying another second layer if you need to, just to that bottom half of it. And you can see how, you know, you can still see the blemish, but it's just a lot less noticeable than it was before, and your eyes, and, you know, immediately drawn to it, which is definitely what we want. So then you want to make sure you set it with your powder, whatever setting powder you use, or your powder foundation. I'm going to use this NARS pressed powder. My shade is Beach. This is amazing stuff. It's great for this purpose too because it's not cakey at all. And it's kind of, my compact is kind of dirty because I'm nearing the end of it, but you can use your regular, you know, kabuki brush or whatever brush you use to apply it, but sometimes this won't get right on the actual spot that you need it to. Sometimes, you know, you need a more precise brush. So I'm just going to use this E40 to show you. Just get a little bit on there and then just tap it right on, you know, very lightly. You don't want to knock off the product or anything like that, but you want to make sure to set up your concealer so it lasts all day. And as far as when you actually want to go through these steps in your foundation routine, if you're doing a liquid foundation routine, I would say just go ahead and apply your concealer when you normally would. So, you know, typically you're going to apply your concealer after your liquid foundation, because if you do it before, you're just gonna mess it up when you go to apply your liquid foundation. If you're doing powder foundation, this is what I normally do. I will apply my concealer to all of my flat, you know, discolorations that are, you know, redness around my nose, little tiny bumps, that kind of a thing. Apply my powder foundation and then go back to correct any isolated areas that are raised up a lot. So if you have a large bump, you're probably going to want to go back and touch that up and actually just conceal it after you've applied your powder foundation. It might sound weird, but you're just going to, you know, if you're going around your face with a powder and a kabuki brush, it's going to catch on anything that is large and raised up, any kind of blemish like that. So it's just going to lift off that product anyways, and you're probably just going to have to retouch it anyway. So you might as well just do your powder foundation, apply your concealer, and if you're using a concealer like this, like the Kat Von D, a really good one, you don't have to apply a thick layer. It's not going to get cakey or anything if you're layering it over powder. And then that's why it's helpful to use a more precise brush to set just that little spot. So that's all there is to it. Really, really easy, and I know that breakouts and acne can be very, very frustrating, and it's one of those things that sometimes when you're trying to correct it, you do more harm than good by piling on concealer. And it's all about optical illusions. Makeup is all smoke and mirrors, so this is kind of a really good example of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you, and thanks for watching. I will see you soon. Bye.